Okay. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. When we called the vigil, we weren't sure how many people would come. But we did know that we needed to stand in solidarity. In solidarity with Charlottesville and in solidarity with Heather Heyer and her family. But this gathering is very much under the themes of solidarity with Charlottesville, no to racism and no to fascism. We did approach the Labour MP in Sheffield, and Paul Scadder is just going to read a message out from Louise Haigh, the MP for Healy.
I wanted to read a message out from Louise Haigh, MP, who can't make it tonight. Sends her apologies, but wanted us to read out a statement on her behalf. It reads, "It's been a distressing week to watch for anyone who believes in a free, tolerant and safe society. These horrific attacks in Charlottesville and yesterday in Barcelona were carried out by people with hateful ideas, hoping to dominate and intimidate people simply for living their lives. The attacks in Charlottesville proved that the kind of violent racism that the world came together 70 years ago to defeat is something never to be complacent about. If you let it go unchecked, it will return, and that is why Donald Trump is wrong. There is no equivalence between those out to harm civilization and those protesting to defend it. There are already too many people in the world who want to sow fear and division between people and communities. But if you look at the people rushing to the scene of attacks to help, you'll see how many more of us there are than them, and how much more important there is than indifference or hatred. This is a time for mourning and reflection, but also a time to strengthen our resolve. Think about how many people you know who have been outraged at what's happened. Think about how you can make them aware of what to look out for and how they can stand up against violent beliefs taking hold in others. And we are right to call it out wherever we see it, whether from the President of the United States or in the hateful rhetoric of the Sun newspaper here in the UK. But today, and in the days to come, we must stand with the communities who are victims of these hateful ideologies, as well as those terrible people who seem to misrepresent. Thank you.
Funeral for Heather Heyer and the statements by her family. Her mother said, "They killed my child to shut her up, but guess what? You just magnified her." Her sister described her funeral as the beginning of Heather's legacy and argued that people must act to make a difference in the world. And I think that's tribute to them, really. They stood up and fought back against what really we have to say was a bunch of vile fascists. And I think we need to call them out and say what they are. Forget this alt-right nonsense. These people are neo-Nazis, white supremacists and fascists, and we need to say what they are. And I believe that those people have been emboldened by the racism of Donald Trump. The fact that he's been constantly attacking Muslims, attacking Mexicans, attacking anybody actually. You think, wonder who he's not attacking, and that's why these people have felt that they can come out of the woodwork once again and start to march. And that's why David Duke from the Ku Klux Klan was the only person to congratulate Donald Trump. They see him as their leader. The fascists and the white supremacists see Donald Trump as their leader. And that's why when they marched, you could see what they were. They had torches, just like the Klan always had. They marched and they chanted, "Jews will not replace us." And they used the blood and soil chant. And that's particularly the things that the neo-Nazis have always used as their slogans, so we know exactly what they are. And then they said they were there to defend their heritage. The statues that exist inside of America, I'll tell you, those statues were built in the 1920s, not at the time, not many years ago, and they were built really during the Jim Crow laws, and they were put up outside the court to make it quite clear to the black people in America that you need to know know your place. They were a sign of terror and white supremacy. So we should have no truck with this nonsense about the statues that existed. And I don't think we should just talk about America actually, we need to talk about here as well. Because the truth is I think we've seen a shift in racism over the summer. We've seen it for a number of years, but I think there's been a shift. Look at the number of black men who've been killed in police custody. And we have to say something about that. Look at the media, the blatant attack on all Muslims, the headlines that they put forward. They are the things that embolden the racists to attack women and chuck acid at them as they go along the streets. That's what the media have been doing, whipping it up really. And they want us to blame Muslims. They want us to blame refugees. They want us to blame black people. Anybody but the people who have the wealth and the power inside this country. And we need to start blaming the real enemy in this country. The people with the money. The people like Kavanaugh in the Sun. The man who wants to talk about the Muslim problem, just like they talked about the Jewish problem. And I think it's good that people have come out today, but we have to do much more. We have to start to organise. We have to organise against the far right, and we have to organise against the racists. And I just want to say that we, instead of to racism, there's a film about Islamophobia taking place at the View Cinema on Monday. I'd urge people to call before to get that film put on, and there will be a question and answer session after it. In Melbury, we're organising a women's meeting. We've had a number of meetings where people have got together to try and organise to say we're not putting up with this kind of racism. And there's a big conference coming up, the Stand Up to Racism conference, and I know that the black people, their families, the black people who are killed in police custody, their families are launching campaigns and they will be speaking out at that. So I urge you to get involved. We are many and they are few, but they are many if we do not raise our voices, and we have to start doing that now.
Thank you, Matthew.
Good evening, everyone. The first thing that I'd like to say is just a heartfelt thank you for coming here this evening and gathering. As the gentleman said, I'm from America. I've been in Sheffield for about 5 months now. I'm originally from a small town in Kansas called Parsons, Kansas. It's a rural country town. It's what we call a red state. It's primarily predominantly Republican. And 3 years ago, I happened to be elected mayor of that town in Kansas, which was a shock to a lot of us, actually, to everyone. During my term, I definitely had to confront racist attitudes and beliefs. My older sister went to a segregated school, to an all-black school. My parents weren't able to vote until the year that I was born, in 1965, because it was illegal for blacks to vote. So this is very recent, and sorry, having parents and family members that had to sit in the back of the bus, couldn't vote, had to swim in separate swimming pools, had to enter buildings in separate entrances, had to drink out of separate water fountains. My parents and my older siblings had to experience all of those things. So with that, it taught me, my parents definitely taught me, in spite of all of those injustices and the racism, to continue to treat people respectfully, to love people, to not see color, to not see race. I don't know that I would be able to do that if I experienced the things that my parents and my older siblings had to experience, to be honest with you. But that's what they taught me, that's what they instilled in me, and I am incredibly grateful for them based upon what they had to go through. So, in America, Obviously, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of issues that are happening right now. And like I said, I just wanted to take this time. Like Robert, I had no idea that I was going to be speaking today. I came down here to support him, and they asked me to say a few words. So what I'd like to say again is just thank you so much, so much for coming out this evening and supporting us in America. You have no idea what this means to me and other Americans that are like-minded, like all of you here this evening. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Now it's August, and this has been organised at short notice, and there's not so many people here now, but we're here with our hearts and saying, as the signs say, we're thinking of Barcelona, we're thinking of Charlottesville, and above all, we're thinking of the family of Heather Heyer, who have paid the ultimate price for standing up for what is right. Now I'm going to do something that I don't do very often at demonstrations. I'm going to quote Edmund Burke. And for those of you who don't know, he is something of a conservative, but he did say something very important, which was, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men, good people to do nothing. And congratulations to all of you, because you've come out and acted tonight. And there are people all around Britain, all around the world, doing just that. And what they're doing, of course, is making up for the one person who really should have been doing something, which is Donald Trump. And, you know, it's not often we're agreeing with two former President Bushes, but they at least saw the need to come out and say something and speak out and say, you should not have to say to the President of the United States, you have to speak against Nazism, against fascism. It shouldn't be necessary, but it has to be done. And it really does show how bad a state the world is in, how dangerous a state the world is in. So, today you've come out to act. All of us need to make sure that not only we're doing something, we talk to friends, relatives, work colleagues, fellow students, anyone we know, and say now is the time to do something. We need to act. If our sort of elected, and it's worth thinking about how people like Donald Trump or indeed Theresa May have got into the positions they're in, because we don't have democracies. Donald Trump lost the popular vote in the US. 68% of the votes in our recent election didn't count. We need to fight against Nazism, against fascism, and what we all have to do is fight for democracy, and that's ultimately what is going to beat the fascists. So thank you, good luck, let's keep fighting. Thank you.
I'm here today to express my heartfelt condolences to Heather Heyer and her family and friends. But the main reason I'm here today is because of the young lady that I've never met inspired me to come here today and speak about the very things as a community we are outraged by. And no one can do everything, we know that. If we all did a little bit, it would make a huge impact. Racism is a disease. Let's call it out for what it actually is. It's a disease that eats away at those who have racist tendencies, because that's what they are. Racism is racism. There's no good way about it. There's no right way about it. Back in the 60s, there was blatant racism. And as a granddaughter of an immigrant that came here in the 60s, it's sad to see that racism still exists. It is sad to see that someone is going to be discriminated against their colour or their race. The law didn't change racism and it didn't stop racism. It just swept it under the carpet, let's be honest. It swept it underneath the carpet. Because you've got people like supporters from the KKK, EDL, Britain First, that are openly expressing their racist views because of people like President Trump. And let me tell you something. As an unapologetic British Muslim, I stand here and you can count on me to stand up and speak up because I am not afraid. And when I mean stand up and talk and stand up for people, if you're all people, you're all my people. Because when we fight for justice, we fight for all people, for all kinds of people. Thank you.
2010, the EDL came twice to this city, just up the road. The first time, they came with 50 people, and 500 people stood to oppose them in unity from all walks of life. In the week that followed, across the media, across the city, people began to realise they were coming back the next week. There was a huge campaign across the city to oppose this. When they came back the following week, they came back with 500 people. The people of Sheffield opposed them with over 2,000 people. The message was very clear. We will not allow the racists to divide us. That is a message not just in this country, not just in this city, but it's across the world. The events in Charlottesville do not just affect the people of Charlottesville. They affect everybody across the world. When the president of the most powerful country of the world defends Nazis, this is something which is going to cause damage, not just to the United States, but to the rest of the world. It sends a message. The message is, racism is acceptable. We have to be here today, we have to be here in the future to show by our numbers, by our diversity, and by our unity that racism is something from the past, that we are going to create a world where there will be no racism. We have a situation today, unfortunately, where far too many politicians whip up racism in order to win votes. And Nazis, in some sense, are a symptom of that. They're not the cause of that. When any politician legitimises racism and uses it to win votes, they are causing the Nazis to grow. But more than that, much more than that, they are causing a situation to develop where racism escalates, communities are isolated, people are attacked, and people die. In other words, they have blood on their hands. We have to show that there is a better world in our unity to that. We have to challenge any politician who panders to racism, who plays the race card, whether they do it directly or they use code language. We have to call it out. We have to build a movement that identifies that, calls it out, organises and opposes it. We've successfully done that in Sheffield over the years. The BNP never won a council in Sheffield, not even close. That was because of the resistance of people on the ground, the work that's being done week in and week out by communities, groups of organisations, festivals, anything you can think of is being done in this city to show that this is a multicultural city. People clearly understand that multiculturalism, diversity, unity, these are words. They mean nothing unless people do something, unless they act. It is wonderful today to see so many people here. Make sure that you go away, spread the messages. Send messages of solidarity to the people of Charlottesville. Send those messages around the world that we were here today as part of an international campaign, an international resistance of unity to racism and against fascism. Never again. We need to give that real meaning. Today is one part of that. Thank you.
I'm from Virginia. I know Charlottesville very well. I've worked in Charlottesville. Can you hear me? Yes. So I said I'm from the States like yourself. I'm from Virginia. I've worked in Charlottesville. I know the city very well. People mentioned Heather Heyer. She was killed by this Nazi. There was also people injured. 19 people are injured. A friend of mine was hit by the car, and both of her legs were broken. Her hand is broken. She has swelling in the neck. She needs reconstructive surgery. She's in the hospital now, and it's under lockdown because Nazis are looking for victims in the hospital to call in with fake names, trying to get to the victims. So I was doing anti-racism organizing 10, 11 years ago, and it was a bit of a small crowd, and we didn't think it was making much of a difference. But the benefit now, aside from then, is that we have the structures in place to fight them better. And more people are signing on to fighting the racists and the Nazis who've been around for a long time, including, as a previous speaker mentioned, David Duke, who, by the way, Donald Trump refused to repudiate when he endorsed him. He said, I don't know the guy, and brushed it all off. So, like I said, I'm from Virginia. A friend of mine was hurt quite awfully in the attack, and it was a lot of pain and suffering to not be there and seeing a video of her flying through the air. She was flying on the windshield of the second car that was hit. So this means a lot to me personally for everyone coming out, aside from what everyone said, which is important, anti-racism. Here in Sheffield in the UK, condemning Theresa May and Trump, it means a lot to me to see people here as someone who's seen videos of their friends being beaten with torches, cars, sticks, and other items. And thanks again for coming out here.